and acting like films need to conform to specific formulas while complaining these films are already borrowing too much. And even though 3 has to be the darkest, as episode 4 is called A New Hope, remember? Oh, and a lot of dark did happen. Anakin lost his mom, he struggled with Obi-Wan, and worried about not being able to be with Padme, and the galaxy erupts into a civil war. Oh, and not much would happen at all except for them getting the clones. And the war with the Separatists starting, and a first big battle being won. Anakin's mom dying, him marrying Padme, Obi-Wan learning to trust him more, Palpatine becoming a dictator. Is that enough? Oh, and also the editing has been criticized, being too fast and being in Coruscant between the two storylines, but this adds to the feeling of approaching danger. Okay, almost done. I'll wrap up. Acting, music, and that is it. I am so happy I could rape a puppy. Oh my god, I am becoming like him. This is how I became that way. Oh god. Alright, what's left? So, people again complained the music was lesser John Williams' work. Well, it had very dark, brooding, and mysterious music on Camino, and sometimes Naboo building tension, and the feeling of coming evil, and subtle dark music when Palpatine is manipulating Anakin, which is subtly dreadful, yet also harmonious, and the speeder chase music was epic and rhythmic, and the love theme is emotional and sensitive and deep, yet foreshadows the tragedy of Anakin and Padme. The music on Coruscant at the end is really gothic and foreboding. The music on Geonosis, really unsettling and worrisome, and also exotic. And the music over Anakin's dead mother is so intense and depressing. No, the music is fantastic, and the silence in the meteor chase worked very well to create sharpness. So, on to the acting. People all call Christopher Lee bland. What really? He is very manipulative and arrogant in how he walks around people and talks. And he could really act sad when Jango died and was really obsessed with defeating Yoda, and could really laugh sadistically and play dishonestly straight, and at least some were willing to admit Ian McGregor was great in this. He was really warm and could sound supportive, have the posture of a master, yet look concerned and sound harsh, sound worried and naive, be relaxed and witty and very calm. Samuel L. Jackson has already been defended, so... Now on to Anthony Daniels. He is still cynical, bossy, and awkward, and downplayably gullible in this. And people criticize C-3PO in the prequels, saying his humor is different here. How? We see him react very cynical, yet underplay to dangers because he is the polite type, be very arrogant to R2, and they criticize his puns like I wish you wouldn't be such a drag, again staring the obvious and plays on words and classic jokes in typical Star Wars, and him complaining his neck was being stretched while it was only dragged off, and him feeling awkward about hurting the Jedi showed how he was still the polite type. People also complain R2 and C3 were unnecessary to be in the prequels, and they were so unnecessary in episodes 5 and 6. In 5, 3PO did nothing and R2 simply reactivated the ship. They are here to connect the series as they are the only people from the film alive in the end of episode 6. They are the humble point of view, like the comedic relief in The Men Who Treated the Rigger's Trail. My god, Reviewer 1 has basically seen every Kurosawa movie. Also, it shows how their rivalry started, and R2 not only saves Padme, but also brings Obi-Wan his message. Oh, and people complain about Natalie Portman. Apparently she would have a blank expression on her face in spite of looking very uncertain when Anakin advanced on her, showing doubt in her eyes, and being able to look stern in the scene where she says they can't be together and looking shocked. Then you often look pale when Anakin told off the Sand People, and she can sound worried, and her character and acting, again, are similar to Mary Jane and Leia. So she can also be arrogant and really sound bossy and can sound love-struck, and she does have chemistry with Hayden Christensen, at first laughing awkwardly in the field because she is very nervous, and then becoming very comfortable when they roll around, and looking very desiring at him when they are about to kiss and smiling warmly during the dining scene. So lastly, Hayden Christensen. He was actually a pretty good choice. He could really sound hateful, like in the Sand People confession scene, and was really shocked when his mom died and sounded really caring, and really got the nervousness for when he met Padme across, and he could really sound arrogant and stubborn. Yet also, some real fears come across, similar eyes to how Jake Lloyd looked scared when thinking about his mother, and he was really warm when trying to support Padme and friendly when telling her about his life as a Jedi, and caring when comforting Padme when they were about to be executed. Wow, he had another nice scene we overlooked, and he could really sound sincere when standing up for Padme. He was great, really great being multi-layered, deep, and taking the acting of a character in the first film and making it darker, and adding new elements. Also, Reviewer 1, as the sloppy writer he is, forgot to comment on Jango Fett and Palpatine. Oh, apparently he's planning to murder me now. Well, that sucks. And force me to watch Jaws 5. No, wait, there's a Jaws 5? Jango Fett is also a deep villain, being loyal to Dooku and loving his son as a real father. And that he wanted an unaltered clone just to have a child to love shows he probably had a hard, lonely life. He can also be harsh, like killing Zam, and is manipulative, calm, brave, and ambitious, as well as he can also be really scared and is sadistic against his enemies, and this shows where Boba Fett got his sadism from, and how he became cold, losing his dad, and that actually can give him some backstory, so that wasn't pointless, and people call Jango a ripoff from Boba, as he is the same person. But we see him without a helmet, and we learn a lot more about him than we did of Boba, and he has new gadgets, having a flamethrower, 2 laser guns, a rocket launcher. He's awesome. And Tamira Morrison, the actor who plays him, is manipulative, calm, and sadistic, and intense also. And Ian McDiarmid is manipulative and seemingly warm and authoric, and very seemingly complimentary also. So for our last couple of nitpicks, what more, damn it? So, okay, the nitpick guy says, like the troll Garama, that Anakin is stalking for how he creepily looks at Padme. He is in love with her. You are allowed to look desiringly at loved ones and feel attraction to them. He just isn't good at hiding it, because he is very emotional, so then you are criticizing him not for what kind of person he is, but for how he looks and emotes, which he can't help. Yeah, that is offensive. Again, this is really insulting to people with things like Tourette's syndrome, and he would be whiny and annoying and rude. When he is mistreated, again, justified, most people don't like to be walked over, and he would have no reason to become more unstable being trained by the Jedi. Who didn't accept them along with inexperienced master and too much power, and who would whine to Padme when they just met? Again, that is just not being very socially skilled. You are hating on Anakin for not acting like what is normal and being more emotional and less smooth. That is high school bully-like thinking, and again, extremely offensive. We wouldn't have seen Palpatine mentoring Palpatine. It would just be referred to, yes again, backstory. We see some of it now and a lot more in episode 3. And apparently Lucas didn't want to actually show it, as it would require a screen without blue screen. Yes, because Lord knows episode 2 doesn't have a lot of on-screen character development. Okay, so lastly, Plinkett comments on the difference between episodes 2 and 5, with 5 having realistic sets, and this has detailed vast CGI. Yoda being a wise master and doing a video game shit. Again, the Jedi, like Obi-Wan and Luke, did that stuff. And the Jedi in the prequels often talk and teach, and you call it boring. And a love story for real people versus cardboard characters we are told to like, yes. Because again, more serious characters are less real in awkwardness and love instead of wit. It is so unnatural, and it is not like we saw them bonding in loads of scenes. And we would have mindless action in the prequels. Yes, again, Yoda is disappointed by action. While the prequels had too much talking, in the original and action opening, Plinkett praised. Okay, and we would replace humanity with digital filmmaking, even though it is another way of creating realistic environments, the same way. Sets replace location shooting, and it is another step in advancing filmmaking, like animation and motion control, and color, which we opposed by their preceding generations. And, okay. I'm tired. Padme would shoot at a ship with someone called Dooku on it who was going to do something. That just demonstrates how you didn't pay attention to these films. The leader of the Separatists is on it who knows when he escapes. They won't be able to prevent the start of the war. And Padme, who is a pacifist and had big trouble becoming a fighter, failed to prevent war and sees her beliefs being torn apart because Dooku is going to let a lot more support. So overall, this was yet another really underrated film. It is an outstanding masterpiece, probably one of the best films ever made, at least in the top 25. And the best of the Star Wars prequels? Maybe. And the criticism on it were offensive and lacked merit. So now 2 down, 1 more to go. Let's just hope it isn't too long a review. No! Damn you, reviewer, viewer 1! Damn you to hell!